This past Sunday was a public fast day. We fasted from morning to evening and we prayed. It was the 17th of Tammuz and it marked the breaching of the walls of Jerusalem. And we're going to a 3-week mourning period where we don't buy new clothes, we don't listen to live music, we don't have weddings. It mourns the destruction of Jerusalem, the destruction of our temple. But more than just mourning, it also helps us focus and reflect on our state of exile and how we have to work on rebuilding the temple spiritually, which will manifest in rebuilding of a temple again in Jerusalem and redeeming the world as a whole. Now, the temple in Jerusalem was the main temple, but there were a few temples before. And if we explore the history of Jews, we'll find that the first tabernacle was built in the desert by Moses and the people, and it lasted for 40 years, and they traveled with it. And when they came into the land of Israel, they rebuilt it and they erected it in a place called Gilgal for 14 years. It took them to conquer and divide the land. Then they built a bigger structure in Shiloh, which lasted for 369 years. That was destroyed, and they went to another one. They built one in Nov, and then that was destroyed, and they built one in Givon, and those two lasted for 2 years. So we have the one in the desert, we have the one in Shiloh, one in Nov, and one in Givon. And finally, King Solomon built the one in Jerusalem, which lasted for 410 years, was destroyed, and after destruction of a temple, they were exiled for 70 years, and they came back and they rebuilt the temple in Jerusalem that stood for another 420 years. And since it's been destroyed close to 2,000 years ago, we have not rebuilt the temple again, because once it was built in Jerusalem, we have no right. We're not allowed to rebuild a temple anywhere. The temple is a home for God, a place where we commune with God, a place where we come together and spend time together. And God chose Jerusalem as his eternal place to meet with his creation. And therefore we still pray towards Jerusalem, and we still hold Jerusalem sacred even though the temple was destroyed. And we pray and ask that the temple be rebuilt. And we hope it's going to happen speedily in our days, and that's why we're thinking about it in these 3 weeks. Tomorrow, what's the connection to Jerusalem? What's our connection to the Holy Land? So in this week's Torah reading, we'll speak about the division of the land. Moses is told by God how to divide the land when they go into the land. Moses himself did not go into the land, but Joshua will go into the land. And they divided, of course, into 12 different parcels for 12 tribes. And there's a very interesting a formula of this division. First, it says, of course, that according to the size of the tribe, that's how they will divide it. The largest tribes get a lot more land so that everybody has a piece of a share of land. But then it says, after dividing it according to the needs, then they would do a lottery, and they would decide who would get which part of the land of Israel. And in another place it says that we inherit the land of Israel. So there's a division by logic, by needs, then there's a division by lottery, and then there's the idea of inheritance. And they each reflect our connection to the land, our connection to Judaism, and our connection to God. There's a logical part where we understand, it makes sense, it helps us grow internally, we focus, we see the benefits, we understand the beauty of it. But then there's the part which is a lottery. A lottery is something that we can't make choices about. We don't know what to decide, so we cast a lot and we just say, as a lot will fall, that's how we're going to decide. And that too is a part of our connection to Judaism that goes beyond any logic. We don't really understand the specific meaning, why specific mitzvahs speak to me, why I'm more encouraged. I like to study Torah, or I like to help others, or my specific mitzvah is blessings before food. Everybody has, sometimes they're drawn to a specific mitzvah. That's a certain type of mitzvah. It's called a lottery. And then there's inheritance. Inheritance is something that we don't choose. If someone is born to somebody, they automatically inherit their assets after they pass away. And with God, it's the same idea, that we are intrinsically bound to God and we become one with Him in our inheritance. That inheritance is our Torah, our inheritance is our land, and our inheritance is our soul within us. Let us focus on that. Let us feel our inheritance, especially in these 3 weeks, and let us rebuild the temple. Shabbat Shalom.